Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So I want to talk about, well, the main thing of this video is going to be the new fusion starting next Thursday, August 3rd. Before I talk about that, I want to mention I'm going to be streaming later today because I finally finished as much as I'm going to, the RTAC event, the Path of Vengeance event. So I have a 5-star RTAC soul that I haven't equipped on my RTAC just yet, but we're going to do that on stream later on today. It's going to be at 4 p.m. about Eastern time. Which, if you don't know what that is, your time, that is going to be whatever time zone you are in, whatever time it is for you when it's 20 UTC. So that's the time that I plan on going live over here on YouTube. If you want to drop by, we're going to be testing out some blessings, testing out some RTAC stuff, but it should be a fun time, should be a good time. And now let's talk about the fusion. So I don't know about you all, but I'm pretty drained on resources. I mean, I'm very low on silver, like 183,000. I'm very low on gems. I have no energy. I have no energy in my inbox. Like, I'm pretty bad off, to be honest. And a new fusion coming around the corner, I don't know if I'm going to be able to even do it. But this fusion seems pretty good, so I want to do it. But there's just one big disclaimer, and that is, please note, this is from the Discord channel, the official raid people. So please note that the format of this fusion will be a bit different, but already familiar to you. Just as usual, you'll need to fuse a legendary champion from epic champions, while you'll need to summon the epic champions from fragments. Now, we've had this event before. I want to say for the Brogni fusion, but I forget when exactly it was. So basically, it's a hybrid. So instead of going for the fragments for the legendary, which is pretty easy most of the time, usually the fragment summons are pretty easy, this is going to be, you're going for the fragments for each of the 4 epics. So there's no rares, no ascensions, no leveling of the rares you have to do, but you got to make sure you're getting the fragments for all the epics. Now, this could be perfectly fine, or it could be very convoluted and complicated. So if they come out with 4 epics that are the same, this may not be too terrible because you just pick them all up, no real big deal. But if they come out with, say, 3 different epics or 4 different epics, now you got to juggle, okay, I got to do these events to get the fragments for this event. If I miss 5 fragments, it's like even more math, more layers that go into that versus, okay, we got 4 epics, we got to get fragments for all of them. We need whatever number of fragments times 4, get those from the event, and then you can fuse legendary. That's going to be relatively easy. Also, if you can open up the epic, maybe the epic's already in the game, but probably not. Either way, this has the potential to be possibly more difficult or not terrible. I don't know. I guess we're going to see as the time gets closer. Hybrid ones can be a little bit of a mixed bag, but I think Brogni was the one. But either way, doesn't matter. Let's talk about the actual champion. So, before we get into this though, I do want to ask you all, if you have any ideas for testing this champion as I go through his skill kit, let me know, because I'll probably have access to the test server relatively soon, and I can test this out to have some stuff ready for you all before he's actually released or before you decide to actually go for him. So starting off with this champion's A1 ability. Sorry, I'm covering some of the screen. To be honest, let's move myself right over here. So his name is Emic Trunkheart, a very easily readable name, unlike Newt, Nut, G-Nut, all that kind of stuff. Either way, let's talk about this guy. So he's an HP-based Sylvan Watcher, legendary of course, but he's Void. So HP-based champions, we don't have a ton of those. Void, amazing to see as a fusion. Legendary, of course, is always going to be legendary, I would hope. I mean, epics, they've done it. But either way, his A1 ability, attacks one enemy. Increases the value of all shield buffs on this champion by 25%. Also increases the value of any shield buffs on the ally with the lowest HP by 25%. This seems crazy. If it said increases the value and the duration, that would be insane. But I mean, imagine you had 100,000 HP shield. I'm wondering how this exactly works, but I imagine it does. So you have 100,000 HP shield, you attack with your A1, you counterattack, boom. Now it's 125,000 HP shield, right? And now when it's 125,000, is it taking 25%, I guess, of that 125,000? So it's going to be ramping up exponentially. It's going to be going very fast. Granted, it's still going to be a 2-turn duration, a 3-turn duration, whatever it may be, but it's still going to be pretty crazy. So it's a really interesting A1 ability, and the rest of his kit makes sense with it as well. So his A2 ability, attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies equal to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns, decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion by 1 turn. This is a 3-turn cooldown. So you throw him in a Hydra team, you throw him in maybe a dungeon team if you're early or mid game, throw him into whatever team you're doing, clan boss possibly. This could add for some very cool, granted, teams that would take a lot more tuning and thought that I actually want to put into a clan boss team right now. But all those different areas of the game, every time he uses this on a 3-turn cooldown, he's reducing the cooldown of all ally skills, which is really nice. Really nice. And then his A3 ability, Trunkheart's Sanctuary, places an unkillable buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a taunt buff and a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns as well. The value of the shield is equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. He's an HP-based champion. He may hit hard. That'd be awesome to see if he actually hit hard. He should have good base HP though, so he can scale this up pretty high. I imagine 100,000 HP for him won't be unheard of by no means, but this ability makes him really solid for a Hydra mischief tanking because he's placing taunt on himself. Granted, mischief doesn't really care about the taunt, but it does care about having the extra buffs on the champion. So having the extra buffs on the champion does allow Emic to be the mischief tank potentially, being high HP, possibly able to build him with resistance. Don't really need accuracy, though his passive can use it. I think it's a really great example of a champion who could be a very solid mischief tank and a pretty good addition to Hydra in general. Now, his passive ability, when attacked while under a shield buff, which should always be there, has a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on the attacker by 2 turns. Occurs once per attack. Whenever an ally's HP drops below 20%, increases the damage dealt by that ally by 20%. So his passive, to be honest, at the moment, without seeing his multipliers, I assume he's probably not an arena nuker. I mean, we have champions who are much better damage dealers. We have Magnar, who's very good. We have Taras, who I imagine is a better damage dealer than Emic. But either way, as they're both HP based, that is. So his passive would lean to him needing accuracy in order to put the enemy skills on cooldown. And his other skills, I'm thinking more like speed, high HP, good defense, really a lot of speed. I'm not really thinking accuracy, maybe thinking a lot of resistance as well. So accuracy, I don't think for most areas of the game, accuracy is going to give you a huge boost. I don't think it's really worth it necessarily, but maybe it is. I guess we'll find out once he actually is released to the game, like I said, next Thursday, August 3rd. And then his aura increases ally HP in all battles by 30%. So this champion, just initial looks, I mean, obviously it's very, very early, so we don't have much to go off of, but amazing for Faction Wars, of course. I think a very solid Hydra champion, possibly some other PvE areas like possibly clan boss. If you're into, making new and unique clan boss teams, I think this A2 ability is very cool. 3-turn cooldown and you're reducing all of your allies' cooldowns by 1 turn. I mean, that can definitely ramp up. Imagine if you put him in Relentless gear. Put him in Relentless gear, he's getting extra turns, and now he's basically making your allies be able to use whatever skills they want. Use it on a champion like Newt. Now all of a sudden Newt is doing his max HP triple hitter all the time. Acrizia, if you have her, all the time. It's going crazy. His Unkillable definitely can be used in some different areas of the game as well. Shogun's Grove, granted, I don't think Shogun's Grove is where this champion would fit. Maybe on stage, no, not even stage 25, because we have Gnarlhorn. Gnarlhorn is a fantastic champion, places Unkillable on himself, stack his crit damage up really high, and he basically has a taunt. He makes the Shogun place Enfeeble on him. So I don't think he's needed there. But as far as a cool champion, I think he's definitely worth going for most players. But I really want to see what it's going to cost us. I can't really recommend him, especially coming off of a Newt fusion where most people invested in, and not coming off the Path of Vengeance, which most people probably invested in. So now it's like, hey, if I'm going to go for this fusion, I'm probably going to spend money. Like, there's really no probably to it. Like, this fusion is probably going to be a $50, $100 fusion for me because I have just nothing. I have no shards. I have no silver. I have no gems, no energy. Content creator perks, not here yet. So I got some books, maybe. I guess I do got some books. Okay, so I got some chickens. I got 49 chickens, and I got 6 epic legendary skill tomes. So those content creator perks, guys, are really doing work. For anybody who's wondering, oh, content creators shouldn't be in tournaments with others as champion training. Well, I'm broke like everybody else, guys. So either way, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.